Hello everyone. For today's video, I thought I would do some reading of some poetry. I found this book and another volume of this book in a used bookstore as I was browsing through. It is a book of poetry of the English-speaking world. It says down here some 1,300 poems. And it starts with the earliest known poems in English, and it works its way through till about the 1940s, I believe. But I was just going to make a series of videos with this book and kind of work our way through history with some poems that I thought were interesting. So the very first poems in here, of course, the first one is Beowulf, which I think is the earliest known English poem. And here we go, Beowulf. But many of the words in here are quite hard to understand, let alone read. So I'm not going to do Beowulf, but I am going to do one of the other poems here. This is starting with the ballads section. And these first poems have words that are very close to what we use in English today, but are either pronounced a little differently or spelled a little differently. And I make no claims to know the exact way in which those words were pronounced back when this poem was written. But one thing I do know is that spellings were fairly inconsistent, but they did tend to follow more closely how the word was pronounced. So when I come across a word that is unfamiliar or slightly different, I'm going to try to pronounce it just like it is spelled, so that hopefully that will help get at least a little bit closer to maybe what it would have sounded like back then. But again, I'm not an expert. So I'm going to move this a little closer. I'm going to move these in so we can watch the flames of the candle while I read. This first poem is from an anonymous person. We're not sure, but we know the name of it is Sir Patrick Spens. Sir Patrick Spens. The king sits in Dunfermline town, drinking the blood-red wine. O whar will I get, good sailor, to sail this ship of mine? Up and spake an elder knight, sat at the king's richt knee. Sir Patrick Spens is the best sailor that sails upon the sea. The king has written a braid letter and signed it with his hand, and sent it to Sir Patrick Spens, was walking on the sand. The first line that Sir Patrick read, aloud laughed he. The next line that Sir Patrick read, the tear blinded his ee. O whar is this hath done this deed, this ill deed done to me, to send me out this time of the year, to sail upon the sea? Mak haste, me merry men all, our good ship sails the morn, and say na see, my master dear, for I fear a deadly storm. Late yestreen, I saw the new moon, with the auld moon in her arm, and I fear, my dear master, that we will come to harm. O our Scot nobles were recht laith to weet their cork-heeled shoon, but lang hour the play we played, their hats they swam aboon. O lang may the ladies stand with their fans in their hands, or ere they see Sir Patrick Spens come sailing to the land. O lang may the ladies stand with their gold keems in their hair, waiting for their ain dear lords, for they'll see them nae mair. Have o'er to Aberdour, it's 50 fathoms deep, and there lies guild Sir Patrick Spens, with the Scot lords at his feet. Kind of a sad poem. And this poem is called Thomas the Rhymer. True Thomas lay on Huntly bank, and fairly he spied with his ee, that there he saw a lady bright, come riding down by Eldon tree. Her skirt was o' the grass-green silk, her mantle o' the velvet fine, and I detect o' her horse's mane hung 50 siller bells and 9. True Thomas he pooed off his cap, and low down on his knee. Hail to thee, Mary, Queen of Heaven, for thy peer on earth could never be. Oh no, Thomas, she said, that name does not belong to me, but I am the Queen of fair Elfland, that am hither come to visit thee. Harp and carp, Thomas, she said, harp and carp along wi' me, and if ye dare to kiss my lips, sure of your body I will be. Betide me weal, betide me woe, that weird shall never doubten me, syne he has kissed her rosy lips, all underneath the Eildon tree. Now ye maun go with me, she said, True Thomas, ye maun go with me, and ye maun serve me 7 years, through weal or woe, as chance may be. She mounted on her milk-white steed, she ta'en True Thomas up behind, and whene'er her bridle rang, the steed gaed swifter than the wind. Oh, they rode on and further on, the steed gaed swifter than the wind, until they reached a desert wide, and living land was left behind. Light down now, True Thomas, and lean your head upon my knee. Abide ye there a little space, and I will show you fairlies 3. O see ye not yon narrow road, so thick beset with thorns and briars? That is the path of righteousness, though after it but few inquires. And see ye not yon braid road that lies across the lily even? That is the path of wickedness, though some call it the road to heaven. And see ye not yon bonny road that winds about the ferny brae? That is the road to fair Elfland, where thou and I this night must gae. But Thomas, ye shall haud your tongue, whatever ye may hear or see, for speak ye word of Elfin land, you'll ne'er win back to your ain country. Oh, they rade on and further on, and they waded rivers about the knee, and they saw neither sun nor moon, but they heard the roaring of the sea. It was mirk night, and there was nae starlight, and they waded through red blood to the knee, for a' the blood that is shed on earth rins through the springs o' that country. Soon they came to a garden green, and she put an apple frae a tree. Take this for thy wages, True Thomas, it will give thee the tongue that can never lee. My tongue is my ain, True Thomas, he said, a goodly gift ye wad gie to me. I neither doubt to buy or sell, at fair or tryst where I might be. I doubt neither speak to prince nor peer, nor ask of grace from fair lady. Now hold thy peace, Thomas, she said, for as I say, so must it be. He has gotten a coat of the even cloth, and a pair o' shoon of the velvet green, and till 7 years are gane and past, True Thomas on earth was never seen. These poems were written in the 15 and 1600s. Some of them are love poems, and some of them are poems of people who would like to love another but fail for one reason or another. And that's one of these poems, Barbara Allen's Cruelty. In Scarlet Town, where I was born, there was a fair maid dwellin', made every youth cry well away. Her name was Barbara Allen. All in the merry month of May, when green buds were a-swellin', young Jimmy Grove on his deathbed lay for love of Barbara Allen. He sent his man into her then, to the town where she was dwellin'. Oh, haste and come to my master dear, if your name is Barbara Allen. So slowly, slowly raised she up, and slowly she came nigh to him. And when she drew the curtain by, young man, I think you are a-dyin'. Oh, it's I am sick, and very, very sick, and it's all for Barbara Allen. Oh, the better for me ye see never be, though your heart's blood were a-spillin'. Oh, dinna ye mind, young man, said she, when the red wine you were fillin', that you made the heaths go round and slighted Barbara Allen. He turned his face into the wall, and death with him was dealin'. Adieu, adieu, my friends all, and be kind to Barbara Allen. As she was walkin' o'er the fields, one heard the dead bells knellin', and every joe the dead bells gave cried, Woe to Barbara Allen. O mother, mother, make me bed, make it soft and narrow. My love has died for me today, I'll die for him tomorrow. Farewell, she said, ye virgins all, and shun the fault I fell in. Henceforth take warning by the fall of cruel Barbara Allen. This is another poem that is not necessarily a love poem, but is definitely about love. The lover complaineth the unkindness of his love. My lute, awake, perform the last labor that thou and I shall waste, an end that now I have begun, and when this song is sung and past, my lute, be still, for I have done. As to be heard when ear is none, as led to grave in marble stone, my song may pierce her heart as soon. Should we then sigh, or sing, or moan? No, no, my lute, for I have done. The rocks do not so cruelly repulse the waves continually, as she my suit and affection, so I am past remedy, whereby my lute and I have done. Proud of the spoil that thou hast got of simple hearts through love's shot, but who unkind thou hast them won, think not he hast his bow forgot, although my lute and I have done. Vengeance shall fall on thy disdain, that makest but game on earnest pain, thinking not alone under the sun, unquit to cause thy lover's plain, although my lute and I are have done. May chance thee lie withered and old in winter nights that are so cold, plaining in vain into the moon. Thy wishes then dare not be told. Care then who lists, for I have done. And then may chance thee to repent the time that thou hast lost and spent, to cause thy lovers sigh and swoon. Then shalt thou know beauty but lent, and wish and want as I have done. Now cease, my lute, this is the last labor that thou and I shall waste, an end is that we begun. Now this song is both sung and past, my lute, be still, for I have done. I think that's a very sad poem, but very well written. This poem is a little different. It is called An Invective Against the Wicked of the World. Let but a fellow in a fox-furred gown, a greasy nightcap, and a drivelled beard, grow but a bailiff of his fisher town, and have a matter for him to hear. Will not his frown make half the street afeard? Yea, in the greatest cod's head gape for fear, he shall be swallowed up by this ugly bear. Look but on beggars going to the stocks, how master constables can march before them, and while the beadle maketh fast the locks, how bravely he can knave them and before them, and not afford one word of pity for them. When it may be poor honest silly people must make the church make curtsy to the steeple. Note but the beadle of the beggar's spittle, how in his place he can himself advance, and will not of his title lose a tittle, if any matter come in variance, to try the credit of his countenance. For whatsoever the poor beggars say, his is the word must carry all the way. Find out a villain, born and bred a knave, that never knew what honesty became, a drunken rascal and a dogged slave, that all his wits to wickedness doth frame, and only lives in infamy and shame. Yet let him tink upon the golden pan, his word may pass yet for an honest man. Look on old Beatrice, with her beetle's brow, begot betwixt the tinker and his tib, and but of late a silly cobbler's spouse. But she have played the thrifty prowling scrib, to purchase grass to graze the bullock's rib. She shall be fed with fine and dainty fare, and wooed and wedded ere she be aware. But for a poor wretch, be she ne'er so fair, gracious and virtuous, wise and nobly born, and worthy well to sit in honor's chair, yet if her kirtle or her gown be torn, all her good gifts shall be but held in scorn, and she, poor soul, in sorrow and disgrace, be forced to give a filthy baggage place. So that by all these consequent I see, it is money makes or mars the man, and yet where judges will indifferent be, the hobby horse best befits Maid Marian. While greedy dogs may lick the dripping pan, for though that money may do many things, yet virtue makes the truest kings and queens. And this is a very interesting poem. It says it was written by Sir Edward Trier, who lived between 1545 and 1607, somewhere there's about. And the name of this poem is My Mind to Me a Kingdom Is. My mind to me a kingdom is, such present joys therein I find, that it excels all other bliss that earth affords or grows by kind. Though much I want, which most I would have, yet still my mind forbids to crave. No princely pomp, no wealthly store, no force to win the victory, no wily wit to salve a sore, nor shape to feed a loving eye. To none of these I yield a thrall, for why? My mind does serve for all. I see how plenty suffer oft, and hasty climbers down do fall. I see that most which are aloft, mishap doth threaten most of all. They get with toil, they keep with fear, such cares my mind could never bear. Content I live, this is my stay, I seek no more than may suffice. I press to bear no haughty sway, though what I lack my mind supplies. Lo, thus I triumph like a king, content with what my mind doth bring. Some have too much, yet still do crave. I little have and seek no more, but they are poor though much they have, and I am rich with little store. They poor, I rich, they beg, I give, they lack, I leave, they pine, I live. I laugh not at another's loss, I grudge not at another's gain. No worldly waves my mind can toss, my state at one doth still remain. I fear no foe, I fawn no friend, I loathe not life, nor dread my end. Some weigh their pleasures by their lust, their wisdom by their rage of will. Their treasure is their only trust, a cloaked craft their store of skill. But all my pleasures that I find is to maintain a quiet mind. My wealth is health and perfect ease, my conscience clear, my choice defense. I never seek by bribes to please, nor by deceit to breed offense. Thus do I live, thus will I die, would all do so as well as I. This is a poem by Sir Walter Raleigh, and is called The Lie. It is a very interesting poem. I would like to learn more about it. I think there's a lot more going on in this poem than I can tell. It is called The Lie. Go, soul, my body's guest, upon a thankless errand. Fear not to touch the best, and truth shall be thy warrant. Go, since I needs must die, and give the world the lie. Say to the court, it glows, and shines like rotten wood. Say to the church, it shows what's good, and doth no good. If church and court reply, then give them both the lie. Tell potentates they live acting by others' actions, not loved unless they give, not strong but by factions. If potentates reply, give potentates the lie. Tell men of high condition that manage the estate, their purpose is ambition, their practice only hate. And if they once reply, then give them all the lie. Tell them that brave it most, they beg for more by spending, who, at their greatest cost, seek nothing but commending. And if they make reply, then give them all the lie. Tell zeal it wants devotion, tell love it is but lust, tell time it is but motion, tell flesh it is but dust, and wish them not reply, for thou must give the lie. Tell age it daily wasteth, tell honors how it alters, tell beauty how she blasteth, tell favor how it falters, and as they shall reply, give every one the lie. Tell wit how much it wrangles in tickle points of niceness, tell wisdom how she entangles herself with overwiseness, and when they do reply, straight give them both the lie. Tell physic of her boldness, tell skill of its pretension, tell charity of coldness, tell law it is contention, and as they do reply, so give them still the lie. Tell fortune of her blindness, tell nature of decay, tell friendship of unkindness, tell justice of delay, and if they will reply, then give them all the lie. Tell art they have no soundness, but vary by esteeming, tell schools they want profoundness, and stand too much on seeming. If art and school reply, give art and school the lie. Tell faith it's fled the city, tell how the country erreth, tell manhood shakes off pity, tell virtue least preferreth, and if they do reply, spare not to give the lie. So when thou hast, as I command thee, done babbling, although to give the lie deserves no less than stabbing, stab at thee he who will, no stab the soul can kill. So I thought that was a really interesting poem. I'd like to know what the word or the phrase "give them the lie" meant back then. I think that would make the meaning of that poem even more impressive. I think I'll read one last one, kind of on the similar theme to the one I just read. This is by Lord Brook. And let's see. It says he lived from 1554 to 1628. And I think this poem and the last poem prove that much of humanity has wrestled with the same questions throughout time, and there's not much that is new that we discover as we connect on the internet, that most of us are struggling with the same things that we have all always struggled with. This says chorus at the top. A wearisome condition of humanity, born under one law to another bound, vainly begot and yet forbidden vanity, created sick, commanded to be sound. What meaneth nature by these diverse laws? Passion and reason self-division cause. It is the mark or majesty of power to make offense that it may forgive. Nature herself doth her own self deflower, to hate those errors she herself doth give. For how should man think that he may not do, if nature did not fail, and punish too? Tyrant to others, to herself unjust, only commands things difficult and hard, forbids us all things which it knows we lust, makes easy pains, impossible reward. If nature did not take delight in blood, she would have made more easy way to good. We that are bound by vows and promotions, with pomp and holy sacrifice and rites, to preach belief in God and stir devotion, to preach of heaven's wonders and delights. Yet when each of us into his own heart looks, he finds the God there far unlike his books. So, I hope you've enjoyed these poems. Some of them are lighthearted, some of them are somewhat profound. And I will be working my way through this book and the next one, and picking out some unusual poems that you don't necessarily always hear. I had no idea that some of these poems were as good as they are and as old as they are, and from some people that I had never heard of before. So, I will be doing this regularly. Please subscribe to my channel, and I will be making more videos along with these readings. And also subscribe to my Twitter, which is ASMR Vids. And I kind of give some background information and post some things about ASMR there as well. So thank you all for watching, and I will see you next time. Thank you. Bye.